Hi everyone, today I would like to tell you about some of the most underrated Christian movies made the last 2 decades. I am looking at my top 5 today. Movies by the Kendrick brothers, The Passion of the Christ and many other movies like I Can Only Imagine did get good reviews, but I want to take a look today at some of the movies you might not have seen and I think you should give it a watch. I am counting down not any particular order, I think they all are worth watching. Let's start with number 5, Unplanned in 2019. As one of the youngest Planned Parenthood clinic directors in the nation, Abby Johnson was involved in upwards of 22,000 abortions and counseled countless women on their reproductive choices. Her passion surrounding a woman's right to choose led her to become a spokesperson for Planned Parenthood, fighting to enact legislation for the cause she so deeply believed in, until the day she saw something that changed everything. This is also good to open the eyes of our young teenage girls. The next movie is one of my favorites. It's one of the many movies made by the Christiano brothers. It's called Time Changer 2002. The picture quality and dialogue were wonderful and it is easy to understand what was going on. Naturally, if you're not a Christian, you might find the film less interesting as there are certain passages where there is a lot of Christian preaching, but give it a try anyway. I felt that the story could have been a bit longer and a bit more exciting. On the moral side, I was very happy to hear the man lashing out at today's moral standards, because even if there was immorality in 1890, the film takes you there has always been immorality in the world. It is even worse today. Certain bad things of 100 years ago have been corrected, but other, even worse things have taken their place. If you take, for example, violence in the cinema, today it is far worse than 50 years ago. Music has become more violent, the world of commerce has become more violent, road raids, rape, abortion, insider dealing on the stock exchange, the size of bombs and weapons, the list is endless. Of course, it's very difficult to live like Jesus. There's too much material temptation in our path which leads to greed, etc. But one must start by at least admitting the lack of morality before trying to correct it. It's normal that a 100-year jump in time should cause a hero to be greeted with total shock and to change his views on certain things when he returned to his time frame. If we could do the same, we should probably change our views. Anyway, putting all this moralistic stuff aside, the film was a pleasure to watch because it didn't contain violence and because our hero's thoughts were pure and naive. Then we come to Escape from Hell. I enjoyed this movie when I saw it in the year 2000. It really spoke to my heart and it is a movie you play for people who needs to hear the gospel message. This movie is about a man who is a doctor called Dr. Eric Robinson, who thinks heaven and hell is about our imaginations, that it refreshes in our memory all the time. So when one gets into a coma or die and got the chance to come back, think he or she went somewhere. So to put a stop to this kind of thinking, he puts himself in cardiac arrest in order to scientifically study near-death experiences. In the course of his experiments, he ventures into both heaven and hell. So on his second chance, he ran to a church while his fellow doctors and friends at the same time went after him with a cop to arrest him for attempted murder. The film ends with an invitation to accept or reject Christ as Savior. It was quite a good movie for me to watch. Now, if you enjoyed God Is Not Dead, especially the first one, this movie, A Matter of Faith, will be very entertaining. A Christian girl goes off to college for a freshman year and begins to be influenced by a popular biology professor who teaches that evolution is the answer to the origins of life. When a father suspects something happening, he begins to examine the situation, and what he discovers completely catches him off guard. Now, very concerned about his daughter drifting away from the faith, he tries to do something about it. Then lastly, this movie, Do You Believe, in 2015, is a good movie to watch for anybody who wants to find a good story. When a local pastor is shaken to the core by the visible faith of an old street corner preacher, he is reminded that true belief always requires action. His response ignites a faith-filled journey that powerfully impacts everyone it touches in ways that only God could orchestrate. More than a movie, it's a question we all must answer in our lifetimes. Do you believe? Well, that is my wrap up today for the 5 most underrated movies according to myself. Maybe there's a couple of movies you want to add. Please add it in the comments and don't forget to subscribe.
It's a miracle.
There's no such thing as miracles. I saved these people. I should get the credit. I won't apologize for sharing the gospel with a dying man.
This cross is gonna cost you.
You're about to throw everything away.
I don't have a choice.
This is the one moment. Everything changes for us.
Stop, please!
I've been where you're going. You have to choose. Take the first step. It'll change your life.